All right, we are live. Let's see who tunes in. So, I guess the question is, what are we going to do today? Well, first of all, we're going to take a piece of software that we wrote before. So, some kind of web application, and we are going to deploy it in a more stable way. So we're going to containerize. We are going to deploy a Kubernetes cluster. That's it. We need to start up a Kubernetes cluster. I guess we don't have one yet. So we go to create.leaf.cloud, sign in with our account, and then we are going to create a cluster. So this is we're just going to call it Dockerize and Deploy for now. And we'll choose the high availability one. I didn't upload a key pair yet. So just going to get my public key. I'll do that off screen. Alright, I'm back. Can you see my screen? So basically all we did was go to our SSH directory, and then we generated a private key from that, and now we need to generate the public key from that. I guess we can use this, and then we generate the public key. Yep. Then we modify the private key to have less permissions, and we are going to use this public key in our account. So we go to key pairs, we say import public key, key type SSH key, key pair name Jegor tutorials, right? Import public key, unable to import the key pair. Maybe it does actually expect RSA. Is it unable to import the key pair? Let's just see if RSA actually works. Let's try it at least. No passphrase. Then we're going to get public. Why does it say how to form PEM? I could not read private key from private. Seriously, what happened up there? I'm not sure why it's not taking my key pair. It didn't state. I could go check deeper in the logs or whatever, but that doesn't seem fair. Let's try this other description. A bunch of stars. Then let's see if we can make the public key from that. Yeah, looks like it did work. Let's try and upload it. Import key type. Not sure what's going on there. Maybe if we just say choose file. Oh god, it doesn't show. It doesn't show hidden folders. That's so typical. Let's just go up. I do want to try the other algorithm. So the ED 25519 algorithm. Let's just see if that works if I do it like this. Sorry, we have to have the public one. Need this command. Public key, select. Do you think it wants these lines? Nah. Unable to import the key pair. And let's see what happens if we do it with RSA. Otherwise, I'll just generate it in this interface, so that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. What's going wrong here? Does anybody looking know what's going wrong? I mean, am I just using the wrong yeah, look at that. There's even like a question mark that says what to do. So let's see at this public key. I mean, this is exactly the same. This prepends it with the type. There we go. So this is the format that the authorized keys file expects. So it has like the type before. So I wonder if we could do that with ED also, which would look a little bit like this. Public. So we're going to take this and we're going to prepend it with ED255, what was it? 19. Let's see if that works. No. And then we'll just try this one. I always make the mistake with copy paste and then so that worked. So why does this format? So okay, so it has to be both RSA and I guess prepended with this stuff. Okay, that was a bit hassle, a bit of a hassle to get that right, but now at least the audience didn't see my private key, right? And I will move cloud.key to .ssh / id RSA because it is actually an RSA file now, and we're going to chmod chmod id RSA 600. We're going to move our public key here too. id RSA.pub. That's fine. We're going to delete the rest. Okie doke. So now we are going to create that cluster. Dockerize and deploy. We'll go for the high availability one. Now we have a key pair. Size, we're going to say 3 master nodes that are running on the Leaf. We're going to use for now, let's go for 2 worker nodes on EC medium. Yeah, we want to enable load balancer for the master nodes, create a new network, fine. We're gonna give it public access. It's generally not recommended to give public access, but otherwise we need to set up a VPN. So I'm getting the question, why 3 master nodes? So to create high availability for the master nodes, you need more than 1, right? Otherwise, when the master node crashes, the cluster crashes. And the master nodes run a database, and for databases to have quorum about which is the current master for the database. So that's basically the one that you write towards. For that it needs at least 2 that, or like more than half of the nodes still need to be online to agree what is the current state of the cluster, right? Otherwise, when there's just 2 and they lose connection with each other, they both think that they are currently like the actual copy of the database, and there's no way to join back together. So 3 for quorum, to be able to lose 1 node without losing quorum. So it says it is generally not recommended to give public access to the API. Just wondering if we should worry about this now or worry about this later. I guess we'll worry about that later. Additional labels. Nope. Submit. So now it's going to create our cluster. And in the meantime, we're going to look at what software we want to deploy. So let's see, what did we have last time? This is from the Build It session. It was a little full stack JavaScript application that basically does a hello database, and then has like a user model and an API to create those users. And from another session we have some machine learning stuff. I think we are going to start with this. Let's look at deploying the database, right? So we used MySQL for this last tutorial. We have normally actually use Postgres. So I'm not sure, like MySQL database operator for Kubernetes. Let's just see what people use. So this is the official MySQL operator that sounds good. So I think we will just actually do that. I like that. We could also try and make it slightly more difficult and use didb. Which I'm kind of curious about, but I'm not sure it will have like a nice operator and stuff. We have a quick start guide. Didb cloud. No, that's not what we want. We want didb local. Let's see if they have like a Kubernetes operator. They do. I'm not sure I want to go straight ahead and use didb at the first, Dockerize and deploy session. So I guess we're just going to go for MySQL or MySQL. This is the operator introduction page. This is the installation. I guess let's see if we have Helm. Okay, we do. Using Helm charts or manifest files. So the Postgres operator actually recently changed to, I guess this is the other one, to config. Let's just do Helm. Okay, we're going to add this operator, add it to my repositories. Then we're going to run Helm update for it to actually become available. Then we need to, I guess, did we already create a virtual env? I guess not, because with build it, you don't need a virtual env, but we're going to have to set up our connection to our OpenStack project right now. Oh, this account doesn't have Python? Oh, sorry, forgot the H. Python -m venv. I mean, I'm going to call this OpenStack venv or venv OpenStack. Then we are going to activate that. And then we are going to download this RC file. We're going to copy it to development. Sorry. I guess it's in downloads. We're going to source it. And then we're going to install pip install OpenStack CLI. This is kind of forever loading state. OpenStack CLI installation version. I mean, we are currently at Yoga. It doesn't matter too much, but it's generally good to have like the exact version that your provider has. I think my Chrome has a bug where I need to restart it whenever I download a file or something. It's a bit weird. Yeah. Sorry, this page doesn't work or something? Seriously? What's up with this? I need to close that first. What is up with this page? Can't be serious, I have to... Oh, that works. What? Weird. CLI. So I think it's just install OpenStack CLI. I'll have a look what we say about it. So basically I did these slightly differently. Python OpenStack client, but I want to know which version. OpenStack client Yoga. Just want to know kind of which version we need. 5.8.1.dev4 they say. Let's see what the latest tag is. The 5.8.0. Okay, so I guess that should be Yoga, because this comes from Yoga. Alrighty, so let's see if it works. Server list requires authentication, so I must have wrongly put in my password. Yeah, there we go. So we have no servers. Oh, create failed. What happened? Maybe I didn't properly do something. Let's have a look. Orchestration, stacks. There isn't even a stack. That's weird. Failed to get discovery URL from discovery.etc. I wonder if they have a problem right now. I mean, is this a etc. D problem? Because this is like a public URL, right? It seems up. Let's try it again. I'm gonna delete this old one. I was recently spacing out about that too because I was trying to install like a pip dependency and it just looked like, you know, the software that I was trying to get to run was broken, but it turned out pip was down entirely. It was like, you don't expect that. Repair unhealthy nodes is okay. Okay, let's see what happens now. Create in progress. Let's see if we actually get a stack. It's gonna open both. Keep an eye on the stack. Yeah, now we have a stack. Okay. So I guess it was a temporary problem having to do with etc. D. So we are going to want to use this MySQL operator. So this is the stack being created. So these are all the elements of the Kubernetes cluster. But in the meantime, we want to deploy this MySQL database, right? So what do they say it looks like? So they have a bunch of stuff. There's the application, which connects through the ingress to the Kubernetes load balancer. Then it's going to forward to the MySQL router, which is going to forward to our cluster, our MySQL database cluster, which lives in a stateful set. The MySQL operator is going to communicate with the Kubernetes control plane to get that all to run. And then we are going to have MySQL backup jobs to back it up. Okay, it's fine. And this is basically me, right? This is us. So this takes a little while. That's why I wanted to start with that, but fine. So it's 11 Central European time now, but I started a bit later, so I think I will just continue a bit longer too. So this Helm install looks very straightforward. I just wonder, so the operator deployment is customizable through other options that override built-in defaults. For example, useful when using local air-gapped private container registry with operator. I wonder if what we want is actually an InnoDB cluster, because alright, so we're going to start with installing the operator with the Helm chart, and then we are going to create an InnoDB cluster. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. So let's just go to Visual Studio Code, and I guess we could just create a new folder here. We'll call it Kubernetes, and here we are going to say database.yml, and here we are going to have our CRDS. I mean, typically use InnoDB cluster as a resource name. I wonder if this is something that has to have that name. Oh, right. I mean, deploy CRDS. MariaDB. Yes. Examples and documentation assumes the current default namespace is used. Okay. Which defaults to default, although it can be modified. Yeah, that's what I do want. So we're going to create a new namespace. Then we are going to set that as the current used namespace, as our current context, and then we will deploy the database itself. Just wonder if we want to use Helm or we want to use kubectl for deploying the cluster itself. Kind of like the kubectl approach here. I kind of like the kubectl approach. MySQL.Oracle. When did Oracle buy it again? When did Oracle buy MySQL? 2010. It came from Sun. So database.yml, instances 3, TLS use self-signed. Okay, fine. Secret name. I mean, my passwords. Okay, I mean, let's just say it's passwords. And we're going to give this namespace. I think namespace is here. We'll just call it MySQL namespace. Yeah, that's good. Let's see how far along our cluster is. Still creating the masters. So you can see them being created here. So, okay, so it's also already creating the workers, creating the masters. We will probably resize this later to become a bigger cluster. Oh, they all have public IP addresses? That wasn't my intention. I think I'm going to create another cluster because I guess I didn't have to check the thing where it says make available publicly. I guess that was a mistake. So in container infra, we want to say, I'm just gonna create one more in the meantime, and I'll delete the old one in the end. So we're going to go for the same settings as before, only we are not going to say that it should be publicly available. I guess, okay, so I'm gonna make 3 worker nodes because MySQL actually wants 3 copies. So I actually need 3 worker nodes. Enable load balancer for master nodes. So I guess I shouldn't have put this on public there. We don't. That's it? Is that it? Submit. So the other cluster is done creating. So we'll just continue there. I will have to apply the same things to this new cluster, but we don't have time to wait for that one to finish creating, I guess. Which is a pity, but okay. OpenStack. So I guess I don't have the Magnum client yet installed. So it's like Magnum client, Magnum OpenStack client. That's Antelope. We want Yoga. CLI documentation. I mean, Magnum status. Actually, let's just see if it's not part of the. Nope. Install Magnum CLI OpenStack. So we need the pip command. I just also want to know the version that we're going to have to install. Python Magnum client, and is it this repository? Yeah. So I wonder which tag we need. We were just in the here. I guess I'll just install it. Magnum client. Installed the 4.1 point something. OpenStack COE dash help. So then we're going to say OpenStack COE cluster config to get our credentials, and we need to get the ID of our cluster. Oops, I put it on the other screen. Let's close some windows. So we're not gonna do tidb today. It's actually called TiDB, I guess. It comes from Titanium DB. We need our cluster ID. Alright, so this is how we gain access to our Kubernetes. I guess. Oh, I want to get all. Alright. So we have connection to our cluster. It's been up for 10 minutes. Let's just have a look actually if the other one doesn't go fast enough. Yeah, I guess not. Takes some time to create. Okay, fine. So we have this prepared. We're just going to use the Helm chart to install the operator itself. So this is about deploying, but we still want to install the operator. So we have to start with this one, right? So we did these two steps, and we have to do this step. So this is going to create a namespace and install the MySQL operator. Let's have a look what it's doing. Get all for namespace MySQL operator. So it has this pod that's running a bunch of other stuff. It looks like it's done. Helm install my cluster MySQL operator in ODB cluster. So we wanted to deploy using the kubectl. So we're going to have to create a password. I mean, let's just go for the defaults for now. See if this even works. Then I'm also going to remove the namespace here for now. So we're just going to create it. This is going to be deleted later, but at least we know that then we're following the defaults, which make these kind of things slightly more likely to be written correctly. So we're going to say kubectl apply. Actually, no. Does it work like this? Delete secret my passwords. Let's just at least add the namespace to it. Only problem is we don't have that namespace yet. And then we'll add the namespace back here. Or we can run it from the command line. I mean, add it. Guess not. We're going to apply the creation of the database now. kubectl apply like database.yml. Sorry, I need to add -f. Unknown field namespace, so I wrote namespace in the wrong place. Because maybe it has to go in metadata. I'm just gonna have a look. Adding namespace to Kubernetes YAML. So it needs to be in what? Like, is it part of metadata? That's not the kind of stuff I remember. Close that. Yeah, creative. I mean, no, I don't want to create a YAML file for the namespace itself. I want my resource to know that it needs to be deployed to that namespace. I'm searching for this wrongly. We need this service like that, maybe. I mean, do we have the YAML file here? Doesn't look like it. Yeah. I mean, here everyone just does it with minus namespace stuff. I guess that's fine. So then we're just going to set our context to the MySQL namespace. Secret name passwords, we actually did my pass, like the default, right? Well, I wonder if by now the cluster is actually, the new cluster is completed. Not yet, I guess. Let's refresh. Yeah, the new cluster is also completed, so we could continue there. I'm actually going to do that. I think we're going to break off this session. So what we're working on, so what we learned is how to start Kubernetes cluster, and how to create a password secret, and we learned about this MySQL cluster deployer, the database operator from MySQL itself, and we are going to use this to deploy our production ready database. Based on this, we can also do backups later, but backups are more like for keep it up. But I'm happy that it has that functionality. Should I continue or should I just stop? Let's see what the listeners say. Let's type it. It feels kind of like I need to continue a little bit longer just to get this database deployed. I guess I'm going to have to delete the config file first. So I'll been at it for a while, guy says. That's true. So I connected to the new cluster. And just deploying the operator to the new cluster now. I guess we can just at least apply, because oh, sorry. Just create the secret again. All right. And apply. So we created the cluster now. So here you can see the MySQL cluster deploying. Into the second cluster that we created, or the last cluster that we created, because it's better to actually have 3 worker nodes there. And yeah, that's that. That's how you deploy MySQL to a Kubernetes cluster. So thanks for listening. Next time we are going to Dockerize this full stack JavaScript application, and we'll use the MySQL database that we set up today. We'll use the cluster that we set up today. And we will probably have to also deploy an ingress. Okay. So thanks everyone. I'm going to stop the stream. Are there any questions still? I mean, yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time.